If LeBron James continues to play the way that he played this weekend, and there's a level of consistency, and you end up like a game or two worse than the Milwaukee Bucks, I think you can make a legitimate argument to give it to him.
If the season were to end today, Giannis would have the highest PER single season of all time. Higher than it would go Giannis 1, then Wilt, Jordan, LeBron in their best seasons.
But what does LeBron have to do in order to overtake Giannis as the MVP?
Well, to me, he just has to finish this season strong. I think if you look at LeBron James, he's having one of the best seasons of his career.
I think it's Giannis for the simple fact he's not playing with, and LeBron's been great, but he's playing with Anthony Davis. James Harden's been great, but he's playing with Russell Westbrook. They got the best record. They tied for the best record. We're not even sure. I mean, we say it's Chris Middleton, but he has the least amount of help of anybody.
Giannis and LeBron, arguably the two best players in the NBA, and in most people's eyes, the two frontrunners for MVP this year. But as of right now, Giannis is still heavily favored to win the MVP this year. Why? Well, his team has the best record in the NBA at 53-12, and he's putting up the best stats across the board, averaging 30 points, 14 rebounds, and 6 assists. So yeah, Giannis is having one of the best seasons of all time. He has the best stats across the board, and his team has the best record in the NBA. So clearly, he should be the runaway MVP, right? But what if I was to tell you this MVP race is a lot closer than what you think? And to be even more bold about it, what if I were to tell you that Giannis actually shouldn't win the MVP, and that the real MVP winner should actually be LeBron James? So if y'all wanted to know the reasons why I say LeBron should actually win MVP this year, y'all came to the right spot. So y'all find y'all something to eat, get y'all something to drink, sit down somewhere, lean back and relax, and hey, let's enjoy the show. One of the reasons why I believe LeBron should win MVP this year is that he's playing in a harder conference. As we all know, LeBron's in the Western Conference this year, and we all know Western Conference teams are far more superior than Eastern Conference teams. If we were to add up the wins and losses of both conferences, the Western Conference will have a 28-game lead over the Eastern Conference. And we can't ignore the fact that LeBron has to go against great competition night in and night out in the Western Conference. Teams 1 through 14 in the Western Conference, in my opinion, and I believe many others would agree with me as well, would make the playoffs easily in the Eastern Conference. There's not one team who's not in the playoffs in the Eastern Conference who will make the playoffs in the Western Conference. I promise you it will not happen. Even when we look at it player by player, how many superstars are actually in the Eastern Conference? Okay, let's count them. Giannis, that's one. Who are the other ones? I would say Joel Embiid, but has he been performing like a superstar? No. Siakam is too early. With Tatum, it's too early. Giannis is the only bona fide superstar in the Eastern Conference. Now let's look at the Western Conference. We got LeBron. We got Anthony Davis. We got Kawhi Leonard. We got Paul George. We got Jokic. We got James Harden. We got Russell Westbrook. We got Luka Doncic. We have plenty of superstars in the Western Conference. When you take in all the things I previously said, with the Lakers being 49-13 in the extremely competitive Western Conference and actually having a 6-game lead on the second best team in the Western Conference, which are the Clippers, and LeBron playing at MVP levels this year, this is one of the reasons why I believe LeBron should actually win the MVP over Giannis this year. So the main reason why I believe LeBron has a case to win MVP over Giannis this year is because LeBron is almost the sole playmaker for the Los Angeles Lakers. When we look at the Lakers roster, how many playmakers do they really have? Yes, Anthony Davis is a superstar, but he's not a playmaker. He needs someone to give him the ball, and he's great creating his own shot. But is he great creating shots for others? I don't think so. Even when we look at the other players on the team, they need to be fed the ball. Shooters like Danny Green, Caldwell Pope, Avery Bradley, and dunkers and lob threats like Dwight Howard and JaVale McGee need to be fed the ball. They are not creators off the dribble. That's why LeBron is so valuable to this team, because he makes plays for others and he makes his teammates better. Just so y'all can get a feel of how much impact LeBron really has, when he's on the court, the Lakers have the second best offense in the NBA. When he's off the court, they have the 29th best offense in the NBA. Let's think about that. They go from virtually almost having the best offense in the NBA to virtually having the worst offense in the NBA. Now, when we look at Giannis' team, he has plenty of playmakers and ball handlers around him, from Eric Bledsoe to George Hill to Chris Middleton to DaVincio. He has plenty of players who can relieve the duty off of him as far as playmaking. Now let's look at something called net rating. Net rating is the offensive rating minus the defensive rating. But simply put, it can be used to determine how better or worse a team is when a specific player is on the court. Giannis has a league best net rating at 16, while LeBron has a top 10 net rating at 10. But when Giannis is off the court, his team still has a net rating of 8. But when LeBron is off the court, his team has a net rating of -1.9, which is the biggest differential of any superstar in the NBA. Giannis' team, on the other hand, even when he's not on the court, still has an elite net rating. Looking at those numbers, I mean, what else needs to be said of how much value LeBron brings to his team? Looking at Giannis' season this year, the stats he's putting up, and the record his team has, Giannis surely deserves the MVP this year. But when we dive into what really makes up the MVP, most valuable player, is that truly Giannis? Is he truly the most valuable player to his prospective team? Would his team suffer the most if he were not to be on that team? I don't think so. Yes, Giannis is having the best statistical season right now. I believe he deserves to be the most outstanding player due to his stats and performances. But is he truly the most valuable player to me? I don't think so. I think his team can do well without him. I don't think he brings the most value to his team. But there is one other player I do believe who brings the most value to his team, more so than any other player in the NBA. That player happens to be LeBron James. I believe he is the most valuable player of 2020. I hope y'all enjoyed my video. Like my video, subscribe to my channel, and I'm out.